Hello and welcome to Sujith Talks. My name is Sujith Billa, a MARN agent. If you want to follow me on Facebook, please go to facebook.com, search for Sujith Talks or hashtag Sujith Talks. Like my page there, you get regular updates on Australian immigration. If not all, you'll get a lot of them. This is part 5 of SkillSelect NewsTalk 2019-20, and in this video I'm going to talk about 16th November 2019 changes according to a tip sheet I've got from Department of Immigration and Border Protection. No, it is Department of Home Affairs. The name's changed. On 16th of November 2019, 491 started. As you know, it is for 5 years, and there's a pathway to permanent residence from 491 to 191. People have been already lodging 491 visa EOIs, but I've been seeing people who are lodging EOIs who are not actually qualified for any state, but they're still lodging 491 visa EOIs. So you should check with the state nomination body's website whether your occupation is in their skilled occupation list, because each state or territory has got a different skilled occupation list, sometimes different for 190 and 491, and in New South Wales you have different regions having their own skilled occupation lists and requirements. So you need to check that, and if eligible, check their process also, how to do it. Then get to SkillSelect and lodge an EOI for 491. Points test changes. As you know, we were talking about these points test changes, and finally they have changed on 16th November, a few days back. And they are applied to all the visa types, including 189, 190, and 491. 3 visa types will get this new points test. It's not just for 491. The changes to partner points is most talked about, debated topic, because some people are trying to get divorced just to get those extra points. 10 points, claiming to be single. Firstly, those who are divorced can be considered as single, but those who are divorced just for the sake of EOI will get into trouble, because change of status will be looked at very seriously by the department. And it's important to note that you might be asked a few questions whenever there is a change of status. And people who are claiming to be single in the EOI getting invited as a result of those 10 points, and then after getting invited, if they go ahead and lodge the visa and then claim to be married at that stage, in other words, after getting invited, if you claim to be married, then you might be having trouble not only to provide evidence of that. Evidence might be easy sometimes if you really get married after invitation, but you might be having trouble in satisfying the points test, because you got invitation based on your single status, and at the time of decision for a particular visa, be it 189, 190 or 491, they might be checking the number of points that you claimed in EOI and whether you're satisfying those points at the time of decision, not at the time of application, which is when you apply, but the time of decision when the case officer is ready to take a decision. Then those 10 points might be missing because your status has changed. So it's a potential risk of a visa refusal. So please be aware of it, because this visa is newly released and the policy is still developing. We have limited policy right now. So it's a risk if you plan to do this, get invitation and then get married. So marriage and migration are totally different things. So please do not relate marriage to migration. EOIs submitted before 16th of November 2019. SkillSelect will automatically update EOIs in submitted status to give extra points wherever applicable, wherever required information is already there. For example, a few people have got Australian citizen or permanent resident as their partner or spouse, or few people do not have a spouse or de facto. The EOI will have had that information, and so automatically gets updated, gives them 10 extra points, and according to the tip sheet and according to the real-time experience, what we are seeing is that the date of effect is not changing in that circumstance. Updating an EOI on or after 16th November 2019. So this is another scenario where they have to manually update the EOI because the information is not held, or previously there was no question as such, like competent English. The EOIs were not asking for partners competent English
They only used to ask whether the partner is skilled or not, and then a question would appear whether they are competent, just to give that 5 points. But now the things have changed, and with just competent English you get 5 points. There will be a new question. Obviously for that you have to manually update it, and then you'll get extra points. Because you're getting extra points and because you're manually updating it, because the information was not held before, the date of effect will change. For competent English, only 5 points category. The other scenario is intending migrant. They wanted to update their EOI for regional study because they are now eligible. So what does that mean? Because now eligible means because the regional Australia definition has changed. Previously, a few areas were not considered regional, now considered regional. So the EOI applicant or the intending migrant realizes that they are good for regional points, regional study, so they will manually update the EOI by claiming regional study points. As a result of that, EOI date of effect will change. But if someone had already claimed for regional study prior to 16th November 2019, because they've already claimed points, the date of effect for them will not change. So this is what the department is saying, but you might see a few errors here and there with the SkillSelect system because it is a SkillSelect system. So just live with it and just manually check the date of effect, whether it changes or not. When you log in, you will see that. Now, EOIs in draft status. EOIs with draft status can be updated and they may be required to answer additional questions as a result of new points test changes. It's the same thing with suspended status as well. So EOIs with suspended status on 16th November 2019 will not have extra points awarded. They can also update it and may be required to answer a new few questions. If the points change, the date of effect for that EOI, the suspended before, will also change. So previously it was suspended, now you want to update it, the date of effect will change. If you want to add a subclass 491 to an existing EOI, they can do it. Intending migrants can add subclass 491 to a submitted EOI. The date of effect for the subclass 491 will be the date it is added. So if that is the only change, the date of effect for previously selected subclasses will not change. Okay, so if you just added 491, then the date of effect for that 491 will be the date of effect when you have actually added it. Other changes to the points test from 16th November are related to specialist education qualification. Previously it was 5 points, now it is 10 points. And obviously 491 nomination get 15 points. Sponsored by an eligible member or state or territory government agency. To be sponsored by an eligible relative, the occupation should be in MLT/SSL only. Again, new regional postcodes were released. If you type LIN 19/217, you get a legal document which is called an instrument for designated regional area list. That instrument specifies postcodes. Eligible for not only 189, 190, but also 491. What you should remember is that legal document is good for 189 and 190 as well. That brings an end to this video. SkillSelect NewsTalk 2019-20 Part 5.
Thank you for watching this video. My name is Sujith Billa, a MARN agent. If you haven't subscribed to my channel on YouTube, please do it. Sujith Talks on YouTube. Click on the bell icon to get notified. For those of you who are interested in immigration advice rather than the general information, please go to my website SujithTalks.com. Schedule a phone or video consultation based on your time zone. Thank you very much. Stay tuned for more. Until then, it's Namaste.